All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
All right, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tours Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production, proudly brings to you the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyron Silva from Tours Comics. Across the way is the Heliotope wordsmith of Ace Blade, Denny J. Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. And we are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a host of other programs. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews and interaction help us reach a bigger audience. What's up, man?
If I was really Heliotope, I would know what that meant.
It's just another word to say purple. It's like what's it, a flower? It's a purple flower.
Oh, is it? Okay. I'm gonna have to use that.
Okay.
No,
I do this every time.
If I was really a wordsmith, I would know that word, but I don't know that word. So I don't know.
Now you're gonna go to was it your local garden store and be like, I need some heliotrope flowers, and they'll be like, what?
Heliotrope. Do y'all have any heliotrope? I need that, please.
All right, we are live. Hey, what's going on, Javon? I'm surprised to see. Yeah. All right, man. So what's new with you?
Man, it's one of them weeks, man. Busy weeks, man. I haven't got a chance to read any comics, but I did go see Batman last night.
Okay.
So that's good. That's some comic book content.
All right. Without spoiling it, what did you think?
It's top 2 for me. Top 2 Batman films. I really liked it a lot. I think anybody who enjoyed the like Batman the animated series and Detective Batman more than superhero, I think they will enjoy it. And I really did. I read it a lot.
Okay, so you said it was top 2, so that means it still doesn't beat out Batman and Robin for you.
No. That's not what that means. It's either,
you still love those bat nipples, apparently. Okay, all right.
It's either better than The Dark Knight or it's better than Mask of the Phantasm. It's better than one of those two. I'm just not sure which one yet. So,
Mask of Phantasm is an amazing movie, and it should get more credit than it does, honestly. Fish is up here talking about keep your Batman spoilers. All right.
I'm not. No, I won't spoil it. You know, I talk a lot of junk about spoilers, but I rarely actually spoil stuff on the internet.
Just on podcasts, but not on the actual internet. Is that what you're saying?
Regularly. If you came onto the podcast, then you're basically asking to get spoiled. But you know, there's Javon go already.
Yeah, I know. Talk about Dark Knight is overrated. I mean, I don't know, Javon. You must be not getting your coffee in or something, but that's just crazy talk right now, man.
I want to do this real quick before we bring our guests on.
Okay.
Kyron claims that I have not invited him to be on top 5, and I want to say for the record, Kyron has an open invitation. I literally send him my list every week, and we discuss top 5s all the time. So Kyron has an open invitation to come to the show whenever he wants. He always knows what the topics are. He just never says he wants to be on. So, you know, but we're going to make it happen soon.
All right. I will find time to be on your show since you're
now you got to find time. Now you got to find time. Okay.
You guys always do top 5 at the exact moment that I'm eating dinner. Okay. Everybody knows that there's a time difference between Danny and I. You guys do it at 8 o'clock, right?
Yes.
We always have dinner at 5.
Yeah.
Okay. We have dinner at 5 o'clock.
Skip a meal with your family. I
could skip a meal. You right? I've been trying to lose weight, so maybe I should do it just to skip that meal.
Hey, that's the top 5 weight loss plan. Yeah, and like Javon said, I eat during the show all the time.
All right. Maybe I will. See, I don't want to promise nothing, but I'm gonna find time to be on there since you are giving me this open invite. So I'm gonna find time no matter what.
Yes,
all right.
Awesome.
Okay. Now that we've gotten all that out the way, did you want to introduce this guy, or do you want me to introduce him? Since you guys are already best friends, so.
No. I talked to him earlier this week, so I'll let you intro the special guest this week.
Okay. All right. Well, on today's show, we have a Ringo Award-Nominated, Glyph Award winner, multi-talented creator, web comic. I don't know what other way to describe this hit series. Beware of Toddler creator George Gant. I was gonna give him a second because he was drinking his coffee. So,
hey everybody,
how you doing?
Sorry. Hey, y'all doing? Yeah, I got my tea over here.
Okay. What kind of tea are we drinking?
Peppermint tea. I've already had 2 cups of coffee, so I didn't want to go crazy.
All right. I drink green tea myself, so I'm gonna have to try some peppermint tea.
I do green as well. Like green tea, Earl Grey, peppermint today, coffee, you name it.
So anything with caffeine at this point to stay active is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Anything
caffeine. If there's a better way to get caffeine into my system, then that won't leave track marks. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I was about to say I got those injectables, but it's it might not work too good.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. For anyone that isn't familiar with your work, please feel free to describe what you do exactly.
Okay, well, I am a cartoonist. I draw a little webcomic called Beware Toddler. It is a comic strip about a dad and his crazy toddler. That's blurry, but you know, you can kind of see it.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this book?
For this series, I've been doing it for about 2.5 years. This June will be the 3-year anniversary of Beware Toddler. I started working on the book itself. I want to say maybe about a year and a half ago. I wanted to make sure I had enough material to put into a book, and I finally finished it. And I got my copies just like last week.
Wow. Okay. Now, before you were doing this, you also did other books. Is that correct? Or you were working on other things?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I before this is actually my 4th webcomic. I had a webcomic called The Reset Button. It was a video game related comic. There were 2 versions of that. I did a comic called On the Grind, which is also like loosely based on my own life, but with the retail industry and the food service industry.
And specifically, it was about a coffee shop, right?
Mm-hmm. Coffee shop. Mm-hmm. That's where your caffeine addiction came from.
I was gonna say
that is exactly where it came from. You get free coffee, like the first was free. There's like the first 1,000 is free, and then like you just can't go back. But
how they get you?
That's exactly how they get you. But like my experiences there, like as a young person entering like the workforce, I saw like all the crazy things, like the crazy customers, and I wanted to really just vent about like all the crazy stuff I saw all day, so I put it into the comic strip, and like from there, like I ended up doing like 400 comic strips, like before Beware Toddler. And Beware Toddler is also like loosely based on my own life. All I can write about is stuff that happened to me, basically.
Loosely, okay.
I think a lot of us do that.
Very loosely. Yeah.
So Danny and I were actually talking about this before we started the show, but how many hours of sleep are you actually getting between being a dad and working on comics then?
I don't know. Like, well, not a lot. I drink like 4 cups of coffee before breakfast. Um, nah, it's not that bad. I get about like 5, 6, maybe.
Nice. See, Danny, that's what I got too. You talk about
Yeah.
I need to sleep less to draw more, man.
We all averaging about 5-6 hours a night. That's good for creators. I think that's good and healthy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's like the one thing that I've been trying to do lately is just to do things like better, health wise. Like 5, 6 hours isn't great, but it's better than the 3 or 4 hours I was getting before. And at the same time, 5, 6 hours, I'm still fully functional and I can still work and it doesn't affect my work. And you could probably see like you can tell like when I'm drawing a comic going off of 4 hours of sleep as opposed to drawing a comic when I'm getting like 5, 6 hours of sleep,
Mhm.
You can see it in the work.
Yeah, I've had that same situation drawing comics. You there is a feeling that you get when you're drawing it, and you're like, I'm just not feeling this page, and you can tell it's because you're asleep. So I get
Yeah.
that totally.
Yeah. That's I was telling Kyron earlier. That's why I couldn't possibly. I've been wanting to draw more. I've been wanting to add, art to my arsenal. And I did my first commissions earlier this year, like January and February, but I literally would have to not sleep to do that. So uh I'm still weighing it though. Like how important is sleep really? Like, do we really even need that?
I mean, yeah, if you want to, live a long life.
I mean,
And we all got kids, so we want to see them grow
right.
up a bit. I mean,
I mean, they'll be fine.
all right. Well, your boy Javon says sleep is overrated, so you guys are in the same boat on that.
He
I'm
also
with
said that was overrated though. So I mean, like, can we really trust him?
I mean, I don't know. I would love to get more sleep as a dad and as an artist, but I understand that my time is limited, so I got to sleep when I can. And
Yeah,
5 to 6 is what I'm used to at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, same.
All right. So, how long? Let me rephrase this. Um, when you started drawing and when you started making your own comics, was that a goal for you to do this as like, hey, I want to do this as a full-time career at some point? I want to become big doing this, or was it just more of a like a lot of us? I'm just like drawing.
Um, I, you know what? I can honestly say that drawing and just like creating in general has been a bit of a life goal for me. Um, I started drawing when I was like 9. Um, I would just read comics all day, and then I try to draw, and I knew, hey, I want to draw cartoons when I grow up. And in school, I was just drawing all day, like math. Who needs that? I want to draw. Um, clearly not the case now because I can't count, uh, but it was one of those things where like I really just wanted to make cartoons, like even as a young age. And you know how it is, like you get away from it from time to time. Like like when I was a teenager, I didn't want to do any of this stuff. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Um, but like growing up, like I like rediscovered it, and even now I still feel the same way now that I did like when I was 9 years old. Hey, I want to draw cartoons. I want this to be my living. Like
Yeah.
I want to create something that is fun. I want to create something that I would have loved as a kid, and I want to create something that has a legacy. Easier said than done, obviously, but like I'm trying.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like as a
That's the
creator, that
most.
seems to be the
That's
biggest
the
thing
most
is that
important.
we want to create something that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that's the most important though. Like you literally, if you don't take the steps, if you don't at least take the steps you'll never even get started. And if you don't get started, you'll never reach that goal. So that's the most important part.
That's true. You got to put in the work.
So you mean I just can't create something and then somebody makes it like into a movie and I don't have to do anything? Is that what you're saying? I can't just have like this general idea and somebody turns it into a hit blockbuster and I get paid?
I don't think it works like that. I don't think it does.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Y'all ruining all my dreams, man. Screw that.
Well, I want to know how many people like made like hit things and they were made to blockbusters and then they're not getting paid. You know, it happens.
True. Very true.
So you said it was about 2 years ago that you, or 2.5 years ago, you actually started doing Beware a Toddler. At what point did you realize that this was something that could become big as far as in your career?
Oh, literally like the second comic strip. Because when first of all, like when I created Beware a Toddler, like it wasn't planned, like at all. Like I didn't like have this general idea that, hey, this is the comic I want to make next. It's my daughter, my real life daughter, like did something funny, and I thought it was funny, and I put it into a comic strip. And I posted it up on like Facebook or whatever, and people really like resonated with it. And then from there, I thought, hey, let me do like a couple more. Let's see where this goes. When that second comic strip hit, I had people telling me, like long time people that knew me from like my previous comics, hey, this is the one. This is it. Like you could really do things with this, you know? Mm-hmm. And it got to the point where like I'm posting on Instagram and like you have like notable people, like famous people outside of the comics bubble, reposting and sharing my work. And all it is just a simple comic strip with a little 2-year-old girl. And from there, I'm thinking, okay, I need to see where this takes me. I need to do what I can to get this to where like everyone, you know, can read it, can have access to it, can enjoy it. And I'm not there yet, but I'm trying. I'm like working on it because this is the one that everyone is saying, this is it. You know.
And yeah. Were you working like side jobs on top of all this, or?
Mm-hmm.
Were you...
Oh yeah. I have a little side career as a letterer, and every once in a while I'll do a colorist. Like I have lettered like several books. I've lettered quite a few books from the Hero Cast of Stellar City book series for Action Lab. I'm lettering a book called Final Gamble right now. That's being published by Band of Bards. I have another comic strip actually I'm drawing for the Beano magazine. There's more. I just drew that. It's not a book. The last one, the most recent one. I've got a graphic design. I mean, not graphic design. I've got a graphic novel that I'm actually working on that hasn't been announced yet. So I don't know if I can really talk about that yet.
No, you can talk about it. It's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, get me in trouble.
Nobody really watches, so don't worry about it.
It's just the three of us. We could.
Yeah. Right. Okay, y'all give me in trouble if y'all want to, but I got another project too. That's I draw like a lot of the comics, and I've designed some characters for a major league sports team. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. Like they never told me I could talk about it, but I've been doing it for like 3 years.
I mean, it's already out there. I don't see why you would get in trouble for talking about it.
I don't know. I like it was like the first like really, really big thing that I've done. And I just never know. But I want to talk about it so bad because I'm like designing these characters and I'm like making these comic strips. It's like for like their kids club. And
wait, it's out. How have I missed this? It's out already?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I hope so. I've been doing it for 3 years. But no, that's like another project that I've been doing. So, it's not just Toddler. It's not just, all my other comics.
Damn. All right, so that tells us that if anybody's listening, you can make comics, but you also have to understand that you probably have to do other things on the side to pursue this full time until it blows up. Then that's what you're saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I first started, I was like working at Starbucks, and I get up.
Say their name and not get fined for using Starbucks.
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
I don't work for them no more. What are they gonna do to me? You're gonna sue me? I don't have any money. Come on. But yeah, no. I think like everybody pretty much has to do something else. Like no one has all their hands in one pot, and it's just the nature of the business. So those people saying I'm going to quit my job to pursue comics full time, just be patient because bills are still a thing. And when you're first starting out, like when I first started out, like I wasn't getting like any comic projects or anything like that. I was getting album covers and logos and things that cartoonists don't technically normally do, like things reserved for like graphic designers. And I think that happens to everybody. I also have a graphic design background, so I'm okay. But still, just it's okay to work while you're working on your goals.
Hey, I like that quote. I like that a lot.
Why couldn't you have told me that 5 years ago when I quit my job to try to do this full time?
Did I tell you to draw comics full time? No, Geo did that.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
You don't have to go through that.
Multiple personalities here. What?
No, I was thinking about the old Jay-Z quote. Whenever like something happens like that, I always think of that quote.
Oh man, no. See,
but
I don't know how. The thing for me though is balance, right? Like I think no matter what you do, you gotta kind of have a balance. Like I had to cut back a lot. Like me and we talked about on a podcast earlier this week. I had to cut back on video games a lot because I played a lot of video games. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was playing Morrowind and when I was playing, and I know Gio loves video games. Kyron, you play games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had to cut back on video games because I was spending, 30, 40 hours a week, just playing video games, like a lot. And I was like, all right, I gotta cut this
that kind
back.
of time when you got kids, man.
They were playing with me, like we were playing together. But
I can relate.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, sometimes you just got to cut things back. But also, like I was playing with them maybe 10 hours, and then the other 20 hours I was grinding in, Horizon or dang on Skyrim or something like that. And it's like, okay, I need to just, because that time will get away from you. Like you'll find yourself up at 2 a.m. and like, oh man, I've been playing this game for 5 hours now. I should probably go to sleep. So it's kind of forcing yourself to have a balance so that you can video games became a myth to me when my son was born. Yeah, right. It's like, hey, you gotta sometimes you gotta cut things back so that you can make sure you pay attention to the things that you need to be doing or the things that you really want to be doing. So I think we all have to do that.
Right. No, I'm right there with you. I still play quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
No, I still play quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Nowhere near as much as I used to, but I still like right before this, I was like drawing over here, and I was playing like Dark Souls over there. So that's pretty much how I get my game time in. It's like I have to be doing two things at once, and from time to time, just like in the mornings or like when I'm not like doing like heavy artwork, or like when you're like out and about, like if you got your Switch or if you're like sitting down and you are with your family, you play with them because it counts as family time. You can play Mario Party. But
Yep.
the inverse is you can't play too much, otherwise you're not gonna get your work done. But at the same time, you work too much and like you lose your mind, and and in turn that will affect your work. So you do have to balance like across like all aspects. So make time. You have to make time for your work. You need to make time for your family. You need to make time for yourself, and you need to make time for your health. And if you can figure that out, once you figure it out, you're good. You know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
Nice.
I love it.
All right.
Absolutely. Quick takes. You ready? Your quick takes.
Sure. Let's go. Well, let's start.
All right. So, Gio, I don't know.
I had to do that.
I just love the graphic. I just love it. So Gio, the concept of quick takes is that in the whole week stalking your Facebook profile and just checking out what you've done over the years. And I come up with some hard things for you. All right. Now I got some more inside information because I talked to you on Tuesday on the show. But these questions are going to dive right into your core. You have to answer them off the top of your head with only 45 seconds to go. Okay. So
okay.
We don't get any trouble here, but we're gonna do our best. So the question that I have for you first is I recently heard, I don't know, I think it was early last year, the passing of legendary rap artist MF Doom. Before then, I had never listened to MF Doom. I've never listened to any of his music. But the outpouring of support that I saw made me kind of curious. I was like, let me check this dude out. So if you're gonna introduce a person who never listened to his music before to MF Doom, which song would you choose to introduce him to him, and why? And why?
Number one would probably be Rap Snitch Knitches, because that's one of the most commercial songs. Get them with a single, make it easy. Second song, same reason, is all caps. But I use all caps when you spell the man's name, because even if they had not heard of Doom before, they may know that song.
Okay.
Oh, man. Get those success out there. I think that's a good way to go to get people in, give them with something they might be familiar with, and then hit them over the head with the deep cuts. Absolutely. Okay. Question number 2, and you alluded to this earlier in the show, that some of the content that you create is based on your real life. So I want to know between the three comic strips that you make that I know of, between the Reset Button, On the Grind, and Beware of Toddlerhood, what percentage would you say is based on true stories?
Beware Toddler, it's like 80% pretty much, like at the beginning. On the Grind is like 60%. The Reset Button is like the most wholly original one, so I'd say like 5%.
Oh yeah, cool. So with the Reset Button, since we still got time left, you play video games. Did you ever want to make video games? I see you got a collaboration with Andrew Augustine coming up, but did you ever think about making your own games?
I did, like back when I was younger. Like I used to be into programming. I think we talked about this earlier this week. That I love computers. Like I love software and hardware. I used to want to, not so much now. Don't have time, but if there is time, I'd like to revisit it.
Absolutely, I love it. Okay, now this question number 3. He didn't have to do that. He did not have to do that.
Man, that was
This-
great.
This question might be the hardest of all of the questions. Okay,
And if you don't pick the right one, we kick you off the show. I'm just letting you know.
and it might be your last question. Just be prepared if you pick the wrong answer, that you
All right,
will face the wrath of all of fandom. So, question number 3: which Ninja Turtle is the best Ninja Turtle, and why?
It's Leo, because the rest of them will fall apart without his leadership. Like, come on.
There you go.
Mikey is cool. Donatello is smart. Raphael is badass. But they couldn't do anything without Leo. It is not Mikey.
There you go. The man
Bro,
is smart.
I think-
The man is
I
smart.
think we need to start. I think we need to start tracking these answers. Like, 'cause I feel like I've asked like 5 people this, and I think we're probably equally split between Leo and Donatello at this point.
And you should have asked me a question about Turtles. Turtles is like my number one as far as fandom, like all-time fandom. So like
Right.
it's Leo, hands down.
Javon, it is not Mikey. Please leave the chat. It is not Mikey.
Definitely not Mikey.
Like, don't ever come back with that.
I love it. Okay. All right, we'll let you stay on the show with that answer. That one was acceptable.
That
Number
was the
4.
only answer. What are you talking about? Acceptable? That's the only answer.
No, Donatello is also a good answer. Donatello has saved their butts plenty of times. With the
Bro, if
prank.
Donatello had a yellow headband, you would not say that. Like, everything else is the same, but he had a yellow headband, you'd be like, it's Leo.
Terrible. Okay, question number 4. Out of all of the game consoles in history, say that there's finally a real console war. Okay, with all the news about the PlayStation subscription services and Sony and Microsoft doing their thing, and Nintendo, say there's really a console war. Which console out of all of the consoles do you think would be the last survivor of a console war, and why?
Like in all the history.
All history
All
of
right.
consoles.
Well, logically, I would probably say the NES, because it's the reason that video games are even still a thing in America. You could say the PS2 because of the sales. You can say the Switch because of the sales. SNES because of game quality. Xbox because they're so forward thinking. PlayStation because of brand recognition. But I'm going to go back and say the NES because it single-handedly brought us out of the video game console crash that began in 1983.
The NES is the GOAT. I don't know if the SNES had the greater game. Why are you letting the clock run down? Like, why are you letting he answer the question? He answered the question. You don't have to let it run to the buzzer. Terrible.
I just had to see the little face pop up again, all right?
Terrible. I can't even talk to y'all no more. This is terrible. As we've discussed on our top five list of video games, I'm more of an old school. I like PlayStation, but I've owned every iteration of the Nintendo, and NES is truly, the savior of the gaming industry, I believe. So I like that answer. Okay. Now, we had you on Top 5 Live last week, but a few weeks ago we did top 5 cartoons of all time. Now, I think I know your number one answer, but off the top of your head, give me a top 5 cartoons or top 5 animated films of all time.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. I have to do this in no particular order. I'm sorry, but animated films. You have to have like Toy Story 3 in there. You have to have The Lion King. Does Who Framed Roger Rabbit count?
No, it does not. No.
Okay. You got to have like Masters of the Phantasm. Shoot.
Okay,
You really
that's all
got me
right.
on this one. You know what? I'll throw in the Land Before Time in there. And
Wow.
because it's one of my personal favorites, I'm going to say the first Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, okay.
Wreck-It Ralph. Oh wow. Okay. I didn't. I
That's a
wouldn't. Have, I
personal
wouldn't have
favorite.
guessed.
So
I wouldn't have guessed you're a Wreck-It Ralph fan. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Wait, did
Okay.
Boondocks come out with a animated film?
no,
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, Bustelo, your answer doesn't count then.
When we did top 5 cartoons, though, a lot of people did bring up Boondocks. But animated
see that
films,
was
that's a solid 5, man.
I put Boondocks in top 5 cartoons.
I can't put that Boondocks in my top 5 because I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either. I've literally never told a person that until today. But
Really?
But I read all the comic strips when it was in the newspaper.
that I did. But I figured the Mask of Phantasm would be somewhere in your top 5. Absolutely. That's we were talking before the show. It's probably still my top Batman film, period. So yeah.
All right. Well, that was this week's Quick Takes, brought to you by Brett Giuliano's book, based on true story, Volume 4. Find out more at dustbunnymafia.com. I told you I'm going to keep doing this every week. I'm going to find somebody to sponsor your Quick Takes thing every week.
I love it. I'm down with it.
All right. So now that we've got...
Brett is awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's cool dude.
Now that we got all the fun stuff out the way, we're going to have to get into something a little controversial. Okay. Now, just to get some backstory on this, we've all done, I'm sure, conventions and things like that. And Danny here posted something, God, was that 2 days ago, yesterday? I don't remember now.
I would say 2 days ago, yeah.
All right. But we're going to watch this video that Danny posted. And we're going to talk about this for a second. So give me 1 second to set this up.
Large comic book conventions are a scam. Now, I would love for somebody to prove me wrong on this, but I just don't see how that's possible. Now, I'm specifically talking about for creators, like people who go to the show and pay tickets to see stuff. Absolutely, absolutely. But for creators, it's a scam. So C2E2 tickets are going on sale March 15th, right? This is one of the shows in America, right? And it's in Chicago. Now, I love selling my comics to people, so I said, I want to apply. I want to see if I can go to this show. To get a table at the show, one of the easiest ways is to get an Artist Alley application. That's where artists and creators like me buy a table for the weekend for 3 days so that they can sell their comics, right? Now, for one table and 2 badges, which is the lowest option, it's $448. Now, that's not counting hotel and travel, right? So tell me, what do you think the probability is that a new creator is going to make that money back?
All right.
Still facts. To this day.
All right. So what do you think about this, George? What do you think of Danny's idea of this?
Okay. Let me start with my own experience with conventions. Like, my first convention was actually a big show. I was lucky enough to have a table for free, but let me tell you, I didn't make any money that weekend. It was like Wizard World Chicago, like 9 years ago or so. If you're a new creator, I think that, I don't think it's a scam, but I think that you may not have, if you're a new creator, you may not have like the skills or the confidence to like sell your books at a show. So I would say that if you have to like the travel, stick with a smaller show just so you can kind of like, get that experience out of the way. I wouldn't say it's not a scam. It's just that, like, if you're a new creator, you shouldn't it's not best to go in at the top per se, because you may feel like you're in over your head. You may not be prepared for like the things that a big show will bring you. And if you aren't confident in selling your books, then you're not going to sell your books. Like that, it's just not going to happen. Like I'm not going to say it's a scam, because if you know what you're doing and if you're confident and if you have a good product, you will, at the very least, break even.
Hmm.
Like with C2E2, like C2E2, like for me personally, like I love tabling C2E2 just because it's like 30 minutes away from my house. But I can understand like worrying about having to worry about travel and hotel accommodations, things like that. So I get it, but if you know what you're doing, and if you have the product, you know what you're doing, you are confident in your book selling abilities, then you should think of it less as a scam and more as an investment. You know, you're gonna get out of it what you put in, basically. So
SpaceX Mike, yes, we are live. So thanks for joining us. And I actually have to agree with Javon's take. I don't think it's a scam, but I do think, at least for the big shows, they do price gouge a lot of the artist alley and overprice more than anything. At least in my experience, I feel like they use a lot of the funds that they go through artist alley to pay for all those big celebrities that they bring in and help them with their accommodations, because all those big celebrities, they don't pay anything to go there. That's all funded through ticket sales and through us as
Right.
creators.
We paying for them to come. My
But
my
it's not
thing.
a scam though, because you're told up front everything that you're paying for. So it's not necessarily a scam, but it's
No,
just
no. When I say scam, what I'm saying is that there's a perception. I think, especially for new creators, right? For young new creators, I think there's an impression that if I go to this show, this is the biggest show, right? So I have the largest audience, the captive audience of people who love comic books. Of course, I'm going to be able to sell my stuff here, right? I'm going to come here. I'm going to be able to meet celebrities. I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to do that. And Victor Danders brought up a good point that people aren't going to big shows like that for local artists most time. Like they're not going for indie artists most time. Indie writers, especially indie creators as a whole, aren't the target audience for those big shows. They're coming for the celebrities, for Marvel and DC properties and announcements and movies and stuff like that. And then if they just happen to run by you and you make an impact, cool. But I think there's a perception with larger shows. And that's why I don't have a problem with C2E2 being a curated show, because they're at least like not letting you, like, if you don't have enough work to show that you've been doing it, you know what I'm saying, you not going to be able to get in that show most likely. So I actually do like that C2E2 is curated like that, because it lessens the likelihood that you don't have the experience to go in there and make your money back. So that's one thing that I do like. But when I say scam, I just mean that there's a perception that you think that you can go in there and kill the game when you really, it's going to be tough for you, especially if you're a new creator.
I also want to point out, like, they don't really advertise it like up front, but you can also get half tables if you want to knock some money off. So it's not like you don't have to get a full table. Like all of my C2E2 shows are half tables. If I get in this year, it'll be a full table, but that is an option as well.
And I just want to go back real quick, Danny, because I asked if you wanted to do C2E2, and we just glossed over the fact that George is like, it's 30 minutes away from his house. So if this goes well, this interview, maybe we could just stay at George's house and save some money. Just saying.
Yeah, until like the first night my kids are bothering you, and you'll get a hotel immediately.
Bro, I got 3 kids. I'm fine with kids bothering me.
Hey, I got 4. I got 4 children. 4 kids don't bother me.
My kids made me make a book about them.
But like, you know what? I see your book though. I've seen your book, so that might be the next level. Oh man.
All right. Well, we have a couple more minutes here. I'll go ahead, Denny. I think. Yeah, we can hear you now.
I froze up. So I was gonna ask you. I guess the toddler isn't really a toddler anymore. How are the kids doing?
My kids are great. yeah, they're both school age at this point. So that's nice because it gives me a little more time to work on my comics. Um, but at the same time, with school comes stories and comes homework and all those things. So that's fun.
So is the book going to progress now that your kids are getting older? Like we're going to say, beware of middle schooler, beware of teenager, things like that.
I don't think so. Because a lot of readers they like the comic because they can relate to it because they like that this is going on within this particular moment. And when their kids get older, they're going to think, hey, remember when you were like the character in this book? But at the same time, people keep having babies, so hey, that's more readers now. Once those babies become toddlers. Also, like I am a big Simpsons fan. Like I still watch The Simpsons to this day, and I love that they are able to have gone so far and not really need to age the characters. They don't even need to make the characters grow outside of the scope of a single episode. And you can say what you will about the quality of the later seasons, but you know, it's still like cool in my opinion that you're able to take this concept and make it stretch for so long and not really have to change like the DNA of what you're doing.
Do you ever feel like you're gonna get burnout from doing this book? I mean, like you said, Simpsons been on for 33 years now. Do you think 20 years down the line you're gonna be like, man, I'm tired of doing toddler stuff?
Well, I don't think I'll be doing this like Tyler in 20 years, but for as long as I do it, I think I want to keep it like as close to like this age group, like because it's such a crazy age group. Like a middle school kid is not as funny as a 2-year-old.
This is true.
I did something like a couple years ago for April Fool's Day. It was a joke, and it was like a fake comic called Beware a Senior. And the idea was I took the Toddler character and I made her a senior citizen, and instead I have like those escapades with her as a senior citizen and her grandchildren, and that I think can work. But I don't. I think that there are only certain age groups that you can really take like the basic idea of the comic in, and it'll work in. Baby, toddler, maybe preschooler, maybe teenager, and senior citizen. I don't think anything else would really work as well.
All right, so no beware of middle-aged person. No, nothing
That's
like
just
that.
going to work. That's just like any regular work day. Man, this guy has a bad attitude on a Monday. Let's make a comic about that.
Not had his coffee yet. Let's
Oh boy, that guy's being passive aggressive.
I have seen you've done crossovers though between your comics in the past though. How many? I believe you did On the Grind and Toddler crossover, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did one. I like to think that they take place in the same universe in some way. The coffee shop in On the Grind is a coffee shop that the dad would visit like when he needs his coffee. At the same time, since the reset button takes place completely inside of a video game world, it can literally like just be like a random video game.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
So what is down the line for you? I mean, I know you're focused on this, but do you have anything else coming up that we can look forward to?
I have one thing. Well, I've got the graphic novel that I can't talk about just yet. I have
you can go ahead
without getting in trouble.
Oh, right.
I'm just waiting on them to announce it because once they announce it, I'm going to shout it to the world. I also have something else Toddler related that I don't think I can talk about just yet. Beyond
is there anything you can spoil on our show? Come on.
I can't spoil this stuff, but
I mean,
I will say one
technically,
thing. I will.
if you didn't sign an NDA, you can talk about anything that you want to. I'm just saying.
I'm waiting on paperwork. I'll just say that.
Okay. We don't want to get the man in trouble and mess up his chances of getting the bag. So
You don't want to get him in trouble. I want to hear what's going on. I want to know what's happening.
Like what I'd like to do, like what I think my steps will be beyond what I'm working on right now. Eventually, I don't want Toddler to be limited to just comics. So I've been doing my research. I would like to animate it. I would like to just write a script and to see where it goes. So I play around with script writing from time to time. I've gotten kind of interested in television script writing, but it's like super early stages. So I'd like to do that. I have a great idea for like the next iteration of the reset button. Which I don't know how I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it now because of I don't want it to be like anything else that's out there. But besides that, I'd like to do something with On the Grind again because I think On the Grind would resonate with a lot of people more now than it did when I did it back in 2008. I have ideas. I just gotta get to work.
Okay.
Sleep less. Like I told Kyron, if you just don't sleep, you can get it all done. Sleep less.
We already went through that.
You can't work if you did.
Just drink more caffeine, less sleep. I'm gonna get a T-shirt. More caffeine, less sleep.
When he starts producing On the Grind coffee or tea, I'll drink more of that.
There we go.
I'll support him. Get some On the Grind coffee, On the Grind tea, and I'll sleep less just for you, Danny. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, George. Well, we appreciate you taking some time out of the day. I know it's sort of early for you, but is there anything else you want to let us know before we end the show?
Sure. Yeah. So Beware Toddler, you can read it every week. BewareToddler.com. You can read it on Webtoon. It's got like 13,000 subscribers over there, so it's doing pretty well. You can read it on Facebook. You can read it on Twitter. The book Toddlerhood successfully kickstarted. I'm shipping these out to backers in the next week or two, and then it'll be ready for purchase on my website.
Nice.
I can't. I'm new to all of this. I give up. I'm done.
We'll definitely make sure we link your website on all our show notes. That way, when people come back and listen to it, they can hopefully get a book. I love the web series, so I might have to pick up a copy myself here. Danny, where can we find your work at?
You can always find me at www.fourthwallpros.com and on social media at the Ace Blade. What about you, Kyron? Where can they find you?
You can find my work at tauruscomics.com. You can find me on social media at Taurus Comics and Twitter and Instagram. And if this is the first time you've checked out our show, thank you for checking us out. But if you want to go back and listen to our previous episodes, you can go to fourtailedpodcast.com. That's the number 4, TALES podcast.com. All our shows are available online for free. We just appreciate you checking out. But please join us next week. And Danny, I'm sorry I did not tell you this, but I actually scheduled an episode for next week. I told you we're going to try to do this every week. Next week, we are going to have Chris Thomasma, creator of Bass Force and Clarity Girl.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you're right. It's Bass Force. I should know that. I actually created the name. But it's just one of those things when you're reading it, your mind just goes totally. But yeah. All right. Let's start this over. This is live. Next week, we're going to have Chris Thomasma, creator, writer, artist of Bass Force and Clarity Girl. He's going to join us on the show. But until next time, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Music provided by my brother, Quix Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.